it's another side that like wants to take more, and wants to go that one more round, because like going that one more round when you don't think you can, that's what makes all the difference in your life. You know what I mean?
Welcome to Season 2 of One More Round, the Rocky Series podcast. This is very exciting, guys. We made it.
We did.
Yay. It's just weird that we're here now because, I did Going the Distance, old movies including the Creed films, and here we are for Season 2 of One More Round, and I should have said to myself at the end of Going the Distance, there ain't going to be no rematch. I'm not going to do this again. Well, no, this is it. This is one more round, the final round. I'm enjoying going through the series again because even though I did the Go in the Distance with Ruben, of course, and then Kyle came on, and then, of course, Katie for the Creed films. It's been a really interesting to hear our thoughts again, maybe. I think we might have repeated, obviously, some points here and there, but I think the fun discussions have still occurred, and I think new discussions. And we've got new listeners anyways with the new season. What we're going to do, folks, a couple things here. We're not going to do the recap. Like, we all know what happened at the end of Rocky 1, people hate that. The first Rocky film. We all know what happened we all know what happened at the end of the first Rocky film, and of course they recapped that. But before we get into the start of Rocky 2, let's talk a little Sly news or updates. Katie, do you want to share your thoughts on how you felt about Tulsa King, the first episode at the time of this recording? It's been really, actually, at the time of this recording, the episode 2 is out now, but I haven't watched it yet. What are your thoughts of Tulsa King?
I did have very high hopes for it, and they were met. It's a unique cast of characters, which makes it fun. So there's a little bit of something for everyone, or like different generations. And, you have to have this type of personality and this type of personality. Just great. Sly looks really good. Who doesn't love a man in a well-fit suit? I'm going to love that this whole time. He looks really good. My complaint is that they make us watch it 1 week at a time, it's a complaint, but I also very much appreciate it because while I am a binger, this is going to help me savor it. So I only watch one episode a week, so it's something to look forward to on Sundays. Like back in the day, shows kind of used to be that way. The only other thing I thought was strange that really stood out to me, and this a little bit of a spoiler, but the chick he sleeps with, we find out later who she is, but she's, I don't know, what do you think, 45-ish, maybe?
I looked her up. I think, if I remember correctly, good guess, I think she's actually 42 to 45. But I think it was 42.
Yeah, so I thought, 40s.
Yeah.
When she finds out how old he is, she freaks out. And I just thought that was a little strange. It was a little overdone. It's not like she's 18 and he's... Right. I just thought it was strange. Because he does play his own age in the show. Mm-hmm. Did you think that was strange at all, Ryan? That they went a little overboard with her being upset that he was 75?
That's a great question, Katie. If people want to see my reaction and my reviews to the Tulsa King, and here's a little bit of maybe an illegal plug is the right word, but I show the whole show on Patreon. If you don't have Paramount Plus and you don't want to fork out the bill to Paramount Plus and you don't mind watching the show with Ryan, you can watch it for free, for as little as $1 a month on our Patreon. So there you go. Hopefully Paramount Plus doesn't listen to my show.
Yeah, like it's a backdoor way in to watch the show.
I guess so, because what you'll see, like, if you watch our videos on YouTube, you'll see that we talk to the Rocky film, same idea. Well, I'm doing that for Tulsa King, but I play pretty much the whole thing. I pause it every now and then. I don't do a lot of pausing because I want the flow of the show, but when something comes to my brain, I don't want to talk over the show necessarily. You'll hear me laugh. If you want to hear my thoughts on the Tulsa King, and if you want to watch it basically for free, as low as $1 a month, join our Patreon. Maybe we'll get a couple more Patreons. You got Tulsa King for $1 a month. I share my reactions/views, and one of the things I did mention, Katie, to answer your question, is actually regarding that scene. I forget my exact comments, but I remember being two things. I remember Yes, thinking that her overreaction was quite weird, but she might just have a thing like maybe she's appalled by old men. I kind of get it. But yeah, her reaction was it was more vitriol than I expected, and I thought that was odd, especially maybe for an, I would say, woke time that we live in, that she would be so appalled by it. She almost acted like, and I don't mean this, but she almost acted like she was a guy who slept with a woman who the guy found out that the woman used to be a man. It was that kind of reaction.
Even if she felt like, oh, I just slept with an old dude, it's rude.
You would think she'd be like, oh, yeah, I got to go.
Save that for later.
Yeah.
You wouldn't do it right in front of the person is kind of the way I thought about it. Like, that's really rude.
It was a fun introduction to her character, and I will say I thought she was going to be a throwaway character. I don't want to spoil anything.
She is not.
She's not a throwaway character. So in fact, again, when I was watching this live and reacting to it, I had a few people in the audience watching it with me, and I made the comment, I thought the character was his daughter, not in the bedding scene, but when she was, I don't want to reveal the scene.
Later.
Yeah, because she was done up in her professional attire, and I didn't recognize her from the party attire. So I thought it was a different actress at first, so that's what threw me off.
I watched your reaction, and I was like screaming at the screen, like, Ryan, no, that's not. Yeah.
I am a little slow on the. My wife and I watch shows together. No, my wife is always telling me, like, I'm at who? I don't know what it is with me sometimes, but I miss some things, and I'm actually not a dummy. But when it comes to shows, sometimes I just miss. I think it's facial recognition or something. I would be a terrible crime witness, maybe, because I'm a witness of a crime. Because I have a terrible facial recognition, I think. I don't know. Watch the show Tulsa King. Go to Paramount Plus. Again, if you don't want to go to Paramount Plus and you're okay watching it with me, you get to do it for $1 a month. So it's up to you guys. And it's a fun ride. It's
a high prestige show. You did mention like the Taylor Sheridan thing, but I'm not familiar with him because I haven't yet seen Yellowstone. I just hear wonderful things. But that combined with the Sopranos guys, there's some of the directors and writers like Terrence Winter and I forget the other guys. There's two
I forget their names
that I remember.
It's a combination of Taylor from Yellowstone and the Soprano guys.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty high quality. It's a wonderful show. I was laughing at the beginning when Sly's character Dwight gets sprayed by the holy water. That's one of the funniest things I've seen. Like, I was laughing more at the show than I do with big budget comedies.
Yeah.
So at first I was thrown off by that. It's like, am I supposed to be laughing this much? The Tulsa King is a combination of everything that Sly is really good at. Brutal violence, tough guy, but smarmy, and also comedy. He's actually good. When the comedy's written well, he's actually good at it. And so all these things are combined, so I think it's drawing to his strengths. And I've also heard a rumor, is he intending to do more seasons, or is this a standalone season? Have you heard anything?
I have not. I would be shocked if he intends it to only be one.
I just heard rumors or saw a headline. Again, it's clickbait. I don't know if it's a clickbait, but taken out of context from an interview. Sly's been doing the circuits, and so he's been doing a lot of sound bites. Been coming out of Sly's mouth for Tulsa King. A lot of sound bites have been making the new circuits. The sound bite that I saw, or the clickbait title I saw, was he isn't sure about season 2 because it's the hardest work he's done. So I don't know if that's just a clickbait for him just saying, oh, I don't know. That was a lot of work. We'll just have to see what happens. So that might just be his way of saying, yeah, wait to see what money they throw his way.
Yeah. It's a huge success for Paramount Plus. Yes. So this is what he should be doing. And I think he realizes that. And I really do think that it will continue to season 2.
So this is his twilight years. Let's be honest. He's in his literal senior citizen years of his career, golden years of his life and career. This is a good swan song. I hope he sees that, and I suspect they're going to probably throw a couple dollars his way.
Yep. I had watched a pretty extensive clip. It was 10 minutes maybe of him on Jimmy Fallon. It just reminded me how good he is. He's such a ham. Like, he knows how to play that up. And so it was really good. He was talking about he and Arnold carving pumpkins, that picture that everyone probably saw, and Tulsa King, and teaches Jimmy how to take a fake punch. It was just very cute. I was grinning from ear to ear the entire time I was watching it. It's on our Facebook or something, I think.
Yeah, Sylvester Stallone has been making the circuits. Donald from our chat, who's usually in our discussions, but he's not right now, I don't think, when we go live. But he sent me a bunch of clips that I haven't had a chance to watch yet. But here's some of the headlines. Sylvester Stallone is working on prequels for Rocky and Rambo. I suspect the prequel for Rambo is a younger version. It's a character, not him in it per se. Sly says he's open to doing a possible Creed 4 if Erwin Winkler wasn't involved. So he makes that known in a YouTube clip. Wow. Him and Irwin just do not get along, and that just won't happen. So the fact that Sly
He-
said that, it's never going to happen.
He did say he won't watch Creed 3.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Okay. So you guys saw more than me. Anything else you guys saw that you want to share? That's all I kind of, like I said, I hadn't had a chance to even watch any of these interviews. Anything else you guys want to share about the recent press conferences or anything?
So Trevor Noah, I don't know if you guys watched The Daily Show. Yeah, he took over for Jon Stewart 7-ish years ago, and he has announced that this is his last season, and he's done a phenomenal job. Anyway, he had Jonathan Majors on recently, and so they were talking about, he just has a ton of projects right now. They just hardly touched on Creed 3 other than to point out his body fat percentage and how difficult it is to get down to 3.5% body fat. And then I looked up what is normal and then what is normal for a woman. It's impossible, I think, for women to get down to that, but it just really made me feel like I should go work out or something.
Yes, Katie,
But-
you schlub.
You know what I mean? But anyway, so it was kind of nice to hear him talking in a positive way about, obviously.
Talk a lot about Major. Do I know him from somewhere?
He's in the, he was in a show, not like a super popular one. Then he's in some of the like superhero movies. Look him up. You'll know who he is because I don't even watch those movies.
Yeah, I sort of recognize his face. Like, where have I seen him? But I don't know. I didn't know the name. Like, if you were to tell me the name without the face, I wouldn't know. So yeah, okay, all right. So this could be a big break for him. And you're saying he will be probably the best part of Creed 3.
He's a legit actor. He's like a really good, solid actor. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Unlike Michael B. Okay, cool.
I didn't mean that necessarily. I think he's a better actor than Michael B.
Sure.
But there's nothing wrong with Michael B.
Sure. Yeah. I don't know why we're being so tender about him right now, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. So we want Creed 3 to do well because we want the Rocky franchise to continue to be a wonderful legacy. Okay. All right. Well, if there's nothing else, guys, are you ready? Here we go.
I'm ready for 1979.
We actually said we were going to do this, but it's just so much work. I think we mentioned in the Going the Distance that we were going to do some sort of timeline chart between the movie release dates, the ages of the actors, the ages of the characters.
Yes, that's on the back burner. I should work on that, actually.
Oh.
Thank you for reminding me.
Well, you're a numbers guy.
Commit to doing that.
You're the numbers guy.
Doing that, so.
Oh, I forgot. We're trivia.
Kyle, what do you think? What are we going to do for winners? So I feel like it was a bit anticlimactic with the bum count, the winner of the bum count, the winner, like at the end of the series. We have to work up to something.
Yeah, I'm going to have to think about that. I don't know offhand.
Otherwise, there's no skin in the game.
What's your bum count prediction?
Are we still doing that?
I thought it was just for the first one.
Oh no, I thought we continue. I think we learned our lesson with our numbers for the first one. I wouldn't mind a rematch for the.
Yeah, same. But
Yeah,
so Ryan,
you ought to pare your prediction down a bit.
I was just talking with Kyle while you were getting the book about we need to have some skin in the game. So wasn't it E.M. King won first season? We need to come up with something that we're playing for. I won the first season of trivia, but like, are we going to have an ultimate winner? You know, are we just playing for bragging rights?
Good question. I don't know. I'd have to think of. Let's stew on it. Maybe
we'll have to think.
Okay.
We'll have to think.
So, but for now, Kyle, if you've got, well, yeah, we don't have to keep score as far as numbers go. So let's just say yes, round 1, season 1, Katie won. So you have your 1 to our nothing. So there you go. So for the trivia count.
Trivia.
Okay.
Yeah.
For the bump count, who got the lowest? Who was the closest between the three of us as hosts?
You were the closest, Ryan.
Okay, so you can do a bump. You can do a bum count thing as well. So we can do that as well. So like I'm 1 to your 0s, and then we'll do Rocky 2. So we'll do bum and trivia. I like it. It's fun, and I think people at home are playing along. So if you want to play along, send us an email. The email is in the show description. Let us know, or via whatever social media on Facebook, wherever you want. Let us know what your bum count prediction is, and play along at home for trivia. So here we go.
Are we going to come up with guesses for a number of bums, or are we going to think about that?
Katie, ladies first. What's your guess? It has to be under 100. Okay, let's just do that.
I know. Can I ask what the final count was for Rocky 1?
19.
19? Is that what you said? For Rocky 2, I'm going to say 11.
Oh, I had a number in my mind that was real close to that.
So did I.
I was going to say 12.
I was thinking 12 too,
No.
but I'll give it to you. I'm going to go a little bit higher. I'm going to say 13. There you go. I know it's going to be tight.
Okay. Now let's have Prices Right rules.
No,
here.
no,
You
no. I
can't
hate
go-
Prices Right.
That's like for me. I'm a sandwich between. It has to be exactly 12 for me to win.
Like if it's 11, you win, and if it's 14, I win. I think
No,
that's fair.
no, because
If it's 11, I win.
Oh, there you go. Okay, I see. Roll.
Yeah,
Okay.
so-
Well, I'll go even higher then. But let's just do whoever's closest over and under. I hate Prices Right. They've ruined old guessing games because that's Prices Right rules. We're playing Rocky Bum Count rules.
Okay.
Because in theory, I could just say 1 and then I win. That's no fun, right?
Yeah.
So you can go over for sure if you're closer. So I will go. Okay, I'll go 15. I'll go a little bit higher because I know there's one scene. So I've got our numbers locked in. I'll go 15.
You know, I was planning to watch Rocky 2 last night and I ended up binging something else instead. And so it would have been more fresh in my mind,
Right. It's a good thing you
but
didn't. Yeah.
it's not.
Okay. Ready for the trivia now. So play at home. Let us know your answers at the end of the episode. Okay. Who says, quote, I'm worried about you, Rock. Your head ain't screwed on right. Lock in your answers.
Okay.
Number 2. What colors are on Rocky's robe?
Does he mean for the second fight or?
The one at the end of the film, I would assume,
The Rocky
right?
2
Okay.
fight. The Rocky 2
Yeah.
fight. Yeah. How many minutes does... Oh, Kyle, you got this one. I always forget the number. How many minutes does Mickey want Rocky to train?
Ah, yes.
Okay, I think I have it, but because you quoted it in one of our previous episodes, and I remember you saying the number and it was different than mine. Number 4, what is Mickey eating when Rocky is skipping rope in the gym?
I'm pretty sure I know this. Actually, it's between two different things.
You've
Yeah.
mentioned the type of food he always eats, Kyle, and I'm like, so I know the.
Well, there's
sorry,
a
I said
few
fruit,
scenes
sorry.
where Mickey's eating, and so I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
Okay, I think I have it though.
Okay, what color was Adrian's coat at the zoo? Boy, we're starting off hard right away.
I feel pretty confident about mine.
All right, so there you go, folks. Here we go. This is probably in my opinion. Now, some people really like the intro to this music, but if this doesn't scream 1979, I don't know what does this soundtrack.
You know what? I love it.
Yeah, you're the
It's
one.
not
that
something
likes
I listen to just because.
I do too.
it. Okay, it's
Movies
just
from the 70s, I love.
I love 70s too, but there's something about the do 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 do.
I don't know. I like it. You know, it's funny. I really like ships and stuff like that. Like, part of me really wishes I lived off the coast. I could see ships coming in and out. I love this ship in the scene here.
I do love the music too, and this scene, it does scream 1979, but that's partially why I love it, and it gets me in the mood of like, I don't know, it just like sets the stage for like, ooh, I'm in a Rocky movie, and I don't know, I just love it.
All fair arguments. All fair. I'm not saying you guys are wrong. I love your opinions. I love the idea that in these ambulances, of course, what's funny is in this ambulance, or I guess one or two of them, we have the fighters. Like that's the idea. Is that I think Rocky's in the ambulance, and I think
I used to think it was an ambulance too, Ryan. It's actually a news.
no.
van
I'm saying I
following.
know there's one ambulance. I'm saying we don't see
Oh.
Apollo, so I maybe Apollo has his own
Correct.
private type of.
He got helicoptered or
Sure.
something.
And they're driving right through downtown,
Yeah.
which I question whether that's the most efficient route.
Don't you think they were just trying to showcase them
still
driving after the fight? They're driving through familiar places that we saw Rocky run through while he was
Yeah.
preparing for the fight, and now he's having to take an ambulance ride through the same streets that we saw him
I
train
love
on.
that. I never made that connection. I love that.
Yeah,
That's,
I mean that's kind of what I assumed. Also, it's Philadelphia is part of the.
Listen to it at home all you want, guys, while you're doing your workout. Oh,
I
that's
love
funny.
it.
All right, so there you go. Written and directed by Sylvester Stallone. So this is probably when people saw this in the theaters. This was like before, obviously, the internet, and I suspect the news rounds and press conferences, people, Sly mentioned this, but I wouldn't be surprised. There was millions of people who went to the theater just to see Rocky 2. Would have seen it. Oh wow, Stallone directed this. They probably saw that for the first time. I would assume there's a lot of viewers even today who don't know that, who watch this for the first time.
This is not his debut, though. He's directed before this, correct?
Correct. Paradise Alley.
What about Saturday Night?
That was.
Or was that after?
Oh, now you're putting me on the spot. People are going to send an
I know,
email.
sorry.
Yeah, I know. In fact, we got one email, not an email, but a comment on our YouTube page by Simon. Simon, our film guy, the guy that makes films. He goes, I can't, or was it him or, no, actually, it might have been Facebook. One of the two, anyways, where someone was saying, how come you guys didn't know the title of the song from the soundtrack? I think it was called Going the Distance. That's why they're.
Really?
Yeah, they're like, it's the name of your other show. Song titles for me, I don't memorize song titles. I just.
That's same. I'm really bad. I used to go to the bar with my friends and they'd have the name that tune. And I was a complete liability in that game.
Yeah, I'd be like, it's the one, yeah. There's a couple of albums I can do, like the whole tracklist order, because I've been like Guns N' Roses, Appetite for Destruction, sure. But for the most part, song titles elude me. Oh, whatever.
Especially instrumental,
Right.
With that, if there's no lyrics or something, yeah, it's a little trickier. But yeah, so we're all shit in that department. So yeah.
I think this would be a really challenging script to write. Because it's a foregone conclusion that Rocky's going to win the fight, right? You're not going to have a sequel where he loses. Yeah. It's like he lost the first fight. That movie would have been fine on its own if you never made another one. But you choose to make another one. You have to write in that he wins. What makes it interesting?
Yes.
What could you write to surprise the audience? Like where's the conflict? Where's the suspense going to come from? And you have to think of something there. And I think he does a good job actually. But yeah, so when you ask me what I think of him being behind the camera, and so I think it's actually a pretty big task in terms of making it a good film. I think because of the success of the first film, everyone's going to watch this film just as a matter of course.
Agreed.
So, like, it's almost guaranteed to be a box office success unless you really look it up.
And I don't think Rocky 2... it's funny, Rocky 2 is definitely not a F up, as Kyle said. It is it's a successful and I think a very worthy sequel in many ways. It's actually, I think, the most underrated film of the franchise. I think everyone loves it. I think everyone loves Rocky 2. I don't think there's very few people that don't like it. But it's just not spoken about the same way that 1, 4, and even 3, and then the Vitriol 5, and the comeback of 6. All these have their own storylines. I think Rocky 2 is often just not spoken of as much.
I did not like Rocky 2 as a kid. I thought it was slow. I thought it felt like it went on too long. I don't know how much longer, if it's longer than the first film.
It is longer than the first film.
Yeah, I felt it went forever. Like when we as a family, occasionally get a Rocky marathon. I think maybe just one time, but I've done a few of them in my lifetime, and I always felt like during the second film, I'm like, oh, what have I got myself into? Like this is going to last forever. But now, like, there's a lot of the domestic stuff in this film. Rocky being a working man, having to prioritize career stuff. As a grown-up, I appreciate that stuff way more than I did as a kid or as a teenager. And so this movie's stock is rising as the years go by for me.
Yeah, a lot of times in my ranking, I sort of pin together 1 and 2 because they're kind of the origin story, and then they get fun and more actiony with the subsequent films. But I agree with you. It is underrated, and I have stated that as a movie category, sequels are not typically great. I mean, however, there are a handful that I can think of. Like Godfather 2, I actually think is superior to Godfather. And Rocky 2, while I don't think it's superior, I think it's on equal ground. It's maybe just like one notch under Rocky. It's really good.
The Rocky sequels aren't sequels in the sense of even back in the 70s and 80s. Like I love the Lethal Weapon movies, for example. I love them. They're fun. They're fun films. I enjoy them. But there's no real storyline. They're literally the sequel. Like, hey, the first one was a lot of fun. Let's do another episode of Lethal Weapon. It's almost like episodic TV. Like, it's just like, it's more adventures of Mel and Danny Glover, right? So the Rocky sequels, they're not quite like that. They're legit. Like there's a story to tell. And when you watch the Rocky series, this is why Part 5 has, in many ways, it's less hated, because I've even seen the comments on YouTube or online, of course, online, but like on social medias, where people are like, I don't hate Rocky 5 as much now because of Rocky Balboa, the sixth film, because it's a story arc. You know, it's just, I mean, it's not the strongest quote unquote episode of the season, but still a great season. So if you look at the Rocky movies as a miniseries, a 6-movie miniseries or 12 episodes, it could be a 12 episode. It's a 12 episode miniseries that took 40 odd years to make. And if you want to look at it like that, it's a great storyline. And so the Rocky 5 isn't as horrible as people would say, because it's just part of the story. It might be the slowest chapter or the silliest chapter of a book, but you still like the book overall. And so the sequel is what I'm getting at. It's though they made money and they said, hey, Sly, give us another one. Give us another one. Sly was really good about creating the marriage arc, the kid arc. Like there was advancement in the story, the marriage and conflict and deaths in the family and that and the journey of the boxer as he gets older. So they weren't just like, show us another boxing fight. It was, Kyle was saying, you guys were saying, the drama, the domestic stuff that continued throughout the series. And I think that's the draw personally. I think that's what the rewatchability is for us, is that we enjoy the journey of the character. It's just not another Lethal Weapon adventure, so to speak.
Well said.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's. Okay. So here we are. We've arrived at the hospital. Written, directed by Sly. And last thing. I think the reason why he directed it, I think John was actually slated to direct, but due to scheduling conflicts, it wasn't anything more than that. I think John was going to direct, but I think Sly was anxious, and I think John wasn't available. And the studio says, "Sly, do you want to do it?" And he goes, "Yeah, absolutely." So I think it was more like that. I'd like to thank Andy. Pirate Andy, he's the one that gives me these files, so thank you. Now I own all the movies, so don't come at me. They're whatever you call it, the FBI. It's just I don't know how to rip my I don't know how to rip my Blu-ray to my hard drive. That's all.
Gotta get extradited to the United States.
Yeah, there you go.
You think you had it won?
I don't know.
How about a statement, Rocky?
Actually, I don't know. I'm at a loss for words.
Rocky, do you think you had it won? Rocky, over here. Rocky, a statement. You think you had it won?
The doctor.
How's my nose look? As bad as Mickey's?
It ain't that horrible. Now give him a break.
I don't know, Kyle. You're follow boxing, and would this kind of craziness at the hospital really be real when the boxer gets?
I don't know, to be honest. Follow that part of it. Could be. Media's relentless.
Sure.
Like, security kicks them out. Like they're going. You saw that that news van's following the ambulance. The ambulance is running red lights. That news van's running red lights. They do whatever they have to do to get the story.
The reporters, they were like, did you think you won, Rocky? Did you think you really, really... They're odd questions. I know it's pushing the storyline right away. Is Apollo really the winner? Rocky, it looks like you were the winner, even though, Creed retained the title. It's just odd questions, maybe, for reporters to kind of push that. Did you really think you won, Rock? Or, I don't know, I just, And then, Mickey, how's my nose look? Kind of...
His nose looked pretty good. Like, you don't see it. His eyes look terrible.
For sure. It's just the first time his nose has been broken, so he's concerned about his nose.
He is
the
concerned.
reporter thing, I wonder if, because throughout these movies, I mean, just generally speaking, reporters in movies, I mean, they're shown to be
caricature almost.
like vulturous.
Right.
But I wonder if that's sort of how he feels, and so this is sort of like a little bit of a take on,
Sly, bringing in real life things into his films. Get out.
Yeah. But it was pandemonium in the ring after the fight.
True.
There was no security. Yeah. So, I don't know. At this time... I guess
it just carries over.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you guys also just... obviously, they'll comment on it a little bit later, but Paulie looks very different in this film.
He lost a lot of weight between the...
He did. Adrian looks different, too. Her hair isn't her hair styled in a different way?
Yes, continuity has already been Okay, so this is
Yeah.
literally this is literally moments after the
Yep.
half an hour. You know, Paulie's lost 100 pounds. Adrian,
It's
Everyone
full-
looks like it's 1979 and not
Yes.
1976.
yeah,
space-time
it's a
continuum.
Half an hour,
I love it.
3 years and 30 minutes. 3 years and 30 minutes, or yeah.
So, Kyle, if you want to start taking notes now might be a good time since we're kind of at ground zero because 1976 was the first film. You could almost start taking notes now. So this is 1979 is the film. However, the Rocky character is still 30. So if you want to kind of track it like that. So Rocky's 30 still, but Sly's 33. Yeah, and so forth and so forth. Okay, so here we go.
One more! Get out of there!
Rocky, is that the worst beating you ever took?
No, you're gonna get worse if you don't get out of here.
Rocky, what'd you think going into the last round?
I don't know that I should have stayed in school or something.
Rocky, do you think you
I
have
love
brain
that.
damage?
I don't see any.
He's as clever as he's been throughout the whole film. There, like, I should have stayed in school. Such a good line.
There's a trivia question. Might even be in the book. What grade did Rocky drop out of?
The highest he attained was 9, which implies he may have dropped out of 10.
I thought he dropped out of ninth
Oh.
grade. I think he dropped out of
Oh.
ninth. We'll find out. Well, that might be I guarantee you that's probably a question in the book. We'll find out.
Wasn't it? But that would have been a question for season 1.
No, because he talked to the interviewer. The interviewer says,
Oh, that's right.
"Oh, you
God,
have
see my brain. I like conflate the two movies. It's all one to me.
sure
That is in Rocky 2.
Yeah.
You're right.
because he's handing out
Yeah.
resumes. He goes, "Oh, you've only made it to whatever grade or whatever."
In that blue suit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's
okay.
like it's funny that guy asked if that's the worst beating he ever took. Like I think it's safe to say that that's the worst beating.
Paul.
Do you
Anyone's
think you
ever
have
taken.
brain damage? I mean,
Yeah.
wow. I guess this really is the 70s. They're not afraid to ask anything.
Well,
That's so rude.
It's interesting even back then. So I find this interesting because obviously with time and science and what do you call it? Like we're more aware of things obviously now in the medical fields because of computers and X-rays. And so I guess brain damage was even an issue in 1979 or 1976,
sure.
according to this timeline. So, but the reporter goes, do you have brain damage? And of course, Rocky's response, well, the classic not quoted as much as it should be. I don't see any.
How is he supposed to assess that? I guess his response itself gives you a clue.
Yeah.
What's brain damage? Like, okay.
Yeah, you're like,
Question
yep.
answer.
I'm a little bit punchy. I ain't stupid. I'm just punchy. I just talk this way. Yeah. So, brain damage that was brought up in part 1 too, wasn't it? The term brain damage. I can't remember. Boy.
I don't think so.
Okay. So, brain damage is an ongoing concern, of course, throughout this film and the film franchise. Another thing that's an ongoing concern, of course, is Rocky. Not concern, but brought up I think, in every film is his retirement. His retirement.
Well, retirement due to physicality though is only this film and Rocky 5.
No, remember Mickey brings up. You ever think about retiring?
Well, no, but I mean retiring because of like physical injuries.
Right. Okay. Sure. But I just love the term retiring and retirement or telling Rocky to retire has been brought up every film up to part 6. It's hilarious.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and his eye. So in addition to the brain damage, his eye damage too.
It's pretty bad.
His eye miraculously
Yeah.
issue in this film, and then it's not an issue in any other film. He goes right back to fighting Southpaw and getting that eye stoved in by everybody. And his brain damage shows up in 5, fair enough, but then disappears.
Yeah, I just mean like those are concerns that we see after the very first fight, and then
Right.
however many movies, 6 movies later, he's still boxing with. I mean, did he recover?
Yeah, because he can see like a beagle or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, like his eye is his vision seemed to be permanently damaged, as we'll see. Mm-hmm. That's just not an issue later on. They just don't care in these films. Like they don't care
Yeah.
about that kind of stuff. Like you just have to.
we just like to poke fun at it. though.
Yeah.
Of course. Oh no, this is what.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not going through this not poking fun. This is my second time through this. We're gonna poke fun. So yeah, you're right. Look at Adrian's hair right there. You're absolutely correct. That is not the same hairstyle and length that she had in part 1. Yeah. So Paulie lost weight and Adrian grew her hair in half an hour. Yeah, absolutely. Continuity continues.
Where is he? Where is he? Apollo, how about a statement? Get away. How about a statement? Apollo, how about a stallion? What stallion? How is the story? You got a dog skull, stallion. You're lucky. So lucky. What you did was a miracle. You're the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
Okay, so right behind Apollo is his wife. Now, I forget the actress's name, but just we didn't really mention it in the first season, but Apollo actually, remember, we did mention that his wife on screen during the press conference was a different actress.
Yeah, and she didn't get a name until this movie,
That's
right?
right. That's right. So Apollo's wife existed in the
Marianne.
first film. Not a speaking part, but she's in the first film, played by a different actress. And now we have this actress playing Marianne Creed for a couple films, up 2 and 4. I don't know if she's in 3, but definitely 2 and 4. And then, of course, I think she passed away. And then Felicia Rashad, of course, does. So here,
I want to comment on
course.
Apollo, what he said there. He referred to Rocky as Lucky.
doll skull. You got a doll skull,
Like-
Stallion.
I was so insulted by that. That he's called Lucky here because to
Do I
me,
look lucky?
Lucky is let's say for example, the shot that knocked Apollo down was just a little harder. Apollo never made the count, and then lost the fight. I would say, yeah, there's some luck there. You got a lucky shot, landed just right, and you became the champ, but you don't really deserve to be the champ. That I would say is luck. Rocky endured 15 rounds of vicious beating. He gave Apollo the worst beating he's ever taken in his whole career. How could you possibly ascribe that to chance?
Yeah.
Well, and, Rocky even said, "Do I look lucky?"
Yeah.
I love that response. Yeah. Well, you could argue to play devil's advocate to Apollo. He's lucky that he had a chance to fight Apollo. There you go.
Sure.
But I know
Well,
what he's
so-
saying. I know what you're saying though. But I like that would be my lawyer response if this statement was put to court. I'd be like, oh no, Apollo was referring to the fact that Rocky is lucky that his name was drawn from a book. But you're right.
I wanted to comment on the wife in her floor length fur coat, which was apparently like the epitome of like class and glamour in the 70s. But yeesh, a fur coat now is like.
But it's so
PETA
cozy
wasn't
and
around
warm.
in 1976.
It's so cool. But
I don't know.
I love real fur because it's kind of chilly out right now, Katie. And those animals can live out in the wilderness. I want to have their fur too, so I can be nice and warm in my home.
Sure. But yeah, I mean, it was like, it was just because, she's all dressed up. And I always notice the fashion in these movies. And
Sure,
there's
that's why we
comment
brought you
Yeah.
on. We brought you on for you're the
For
fashionista.
the 4 ladies that
Listen to the show. My mom.
listen to the show.
I think it's my mom, Kim, you of course, your mom. So actually, that's 3, and then
My sister.
and then maybe 4.
I have 2 sisters, and then Melissa, I think,
Melissa.
listens to the show.
So maybe 5 or 6. Maybe 5 or 6
Yeah,
females. Yeah, that's
yeah.
not bad. Yeah.
And then also Rocky, I like his response, or like he does a good job of nonverbal acting here. He's already like, wait, we literally just said ain't gonna be no rematch.
Yeah.
And now here you are, the cameras are rolling, and
Right,
you
of
know, you've
course,
already
'cause
changed your tune.
He's
So,
embarrassed. Apollo's embarrassed.
Yeah.
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 He's caught his breath too. Like Apollo probably felt close to death at the end of round 15.
Good point.
Just the thought of having a rematch there was just inconceivable. But now he's kind of got his faculties back a little bit, and he's now it's probably his brain has processed a bit what has happened.
Look at
And
Mickey's face
now
there.
The anger
Yeah.
is kicking in. Yeah, not too respectful of Apollo. And I don't blame him. Apollo's being an asshole.
Yeah.
here.
So Mickey's like, yeah. Watch this. Here we go.
Polly's got dagger eyes at him as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's in gangster mode because he's working for Gazzo now. He's like full on ready to break some.
Not
thumbs.
yet. Not yet. He's not working for him yet.
Oh,
Yeah, this will happen later in the film.
That's right.
Where Rocky gives him his job.
sorry. He's gearing up to be a mobster. My apologies. Sorry.
Yeah.
I want you to know that,
Dress for the part you want. You dress for the job you want.
Stallion! Stallion!
How was the score? You heard
Look, you got a dog skull, Stallion. Lucky. So lucky. What you did was a miracle. You're the luckiest man on the face of the earth. I want you to know that, Stallion.
Do I look lucky?
Look, nobody goes the distance with me. Get up out of that chair, chump, and let's finish this fight right now.
Oh, don't. Please
Look,
sit
I'm
down.
talking.
Is he serious?
Were you going down? Did the bell save you, Apollo?
Bell nothing, man. I can beat that chump. I'll fight him any place, anytime.
Does that mean there'll be a rematch?
I said any place, anytime, man. Can you hear?
Hey, yo, Apollo, you said there weren't gonna be no rematch.
I just love that part too. Apollo's like screaming at the reporters, and can you hear? Did I stutter? You know, he's like, and then Rocky's like, "Yo, Apollo, you said there were gonna be no everyone's all
I
quiet
would
for
love
Rocky.
if someone in the audience, like, who's just going to troll him. Joe, so just to clarify, Apollo, are you saying you would be receptive to having a rematch?
Also, we should have a chump count instead of a bum
Oh,
count.
yeah.
maybe.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I love that word, chump. That's such a great word.
And he always, Apollo's way of speaking, it is chump, and it's whatever, nothing, man, nothing, man.
I love
He
it.
always- yeah.
His clip words. I think Apollo's fro was actually a little bit bigger too. Oh man, everyone's hair grew and Paulie lost weight. Look at
Yeah.
that. That's awesome.
Apollo's hair grew as well. Yeah.
And so
I
we
thought it
got,
was bigger in the first one.
I don't know, maybe. Well, he did have. Well, he had his barber with him. Maybe his barber gave him a haircut on the way to the hospital. Yeah.
It looked
Yeah.
closer on the sides, like cut closer on the
It
sides.
does look.
It's just
It
more
looks
like
wider on the side.
now. Yeah, it's like a rounder.
Is it covering his ear? Sorry,
Yeah, that's like a thing in the 70s.
I know. I
In the
couldn't handle
70s,
that.
your hair had to cover your ears.
Oh, I don't know how you
Which is
do it
weird.
there, Katie, with hair. I need my ears exposed. As ugly as they are, I don't like them. I couldn't handle having hair touching them. I don't know.
So you've never had long hair?
I've had long bangs. When I was back
Really?
in the 90s. Yeah, flock of
Oh,
seagulls.
the 90s. Yeah,
I'd
yeah.
have the bangs. I'd eat my bangs in school. Put them in my mouth.
Really?
Yeah. I should show you a picture. I'll see if I can find a picture of me with my long 90210 bangs. Yeah. Ugh. Don't at me.
Look, chump, any place, any time.
Rocky, a rematch could be worth millions.
Well, I'm officially retired now.
Don't you run out on me now. Don't you run out on me, Stallion.
I love how he says, "Oh, I'm officially retired right now." And then the Asian's little knowing, like, yes, you're retired. She gave a smile there. She's got her man's going to be at home or whatever, no longer in danger. And it's just a little subtle nod to her response to that announcement that he's retired. Yeah.
Both of the women here, Adrian and Apollo's wife, both of them, like, really, they don't have the ego and the adrenaline and the testosterone here. Actually care about their husband's physical safety and well-being. And, like, you can see they're both, like, Apollo's wife is kind of, like, looking down, and she just, like, wants this to end. She's telling him to sit down when he wants to finish the fight. Adrian, she's happy that Rocky says he's going to retire. Like, they're kind of the more reasonable people here.
Well, because don't forget, Marianne, after this sequence of events at the hospital, is going to have to carry her husband up the stairs and wipe his butt at home.
Yeah, she's probably never had to wipe butt until now.
Yeah. This is
I'm
the
pretty
fight. This is
sure
the fight. Isn't
she
this the fight?
doesn't. They have servants for that. I
No,
really
remember
doubt
in
she
Creed Part
actually-
1? That's what Marianne...
I know, but yeah, I mean, he would probably be too embarrassed to have servants do it. But I wouldn't want my wife to do it either if I was Apollo. At any rate, Mary, this is not her first rodeo, but I think she's kind of like hoping.
Because
They're like, okay,
Paul's never been knocked down. He's never gone to... So it was Rocky's fight that made Apollo shite himself.
That's true. That is true. Women, I would just like to point out, women are the more reasonable of the two sexes. Did you guys know
How dare
that?
you? You're fired from the show. Oh, wait, that was unreasonable of me. I apologize.
Look, chump, any place, any time.
Rocky, a rematch could be worth millions.
Well, I'm officially retired now.
Don't you run out on me now. Don't you run out on me, Stallion. I gave you a shot the first time. Now I'm ready to give you a second shot.
He sure has a lot of energy. You got nothing to prove.
I don't care what the hell them judges said. This is the man I want to fight.
I love... Okay, so this...
Yes, fuel to the fire.
Talk about trolling, dude. Kyle. Talk about trolling. Mickey, the magic goes. I love how Rocky. Two things. Rocky just finished saying, you got nothing left to prove. You're the champ. And then Mickey just jumps in. No, wait, Rocky, I got something here. Rocky won the fight.
What happened to the Mickey who was like, stay down, stay
I
down?
know,
Now it's
yeah.
like,
I think Mickey was ready to
Mickey has
manage.
that temper.
I think Mickey was ready to manage a fight right there in the hospital.
Yeah, Mickey gets pissed off, and once he's pissed off, it's go time. He'll throw his soup on the floor. He'll tell you to get your chicken ass out of the gym. Like, he has
chicken ass. That was a good one.
he has a
He'll come
temper,
at you
and
like a
oh,
spider
push him
monkey.
too far.
I got a question. Who's more racist, Mickey or Paulie? I got a feeling Mickey is a closet racist for real. I don't know why I
don't
feel
even
that.
think he's closet. I don't think he's even closet.
He seemed to be willing to work with Dipper. He seemed to have a lot of respect for him. Like he gave a black man a locker over a white man. Doesn't seem like.
Okay, I just feel like for some reason I feel like I don't know why it is, but there's maybe it's just disregard.
It's definitely Polly. Now that I'm thinking through Rocky 3.
Oh yeah, well yeah. Rocky 3 is we'll get to those. We'll get to so. But that's such a funny thing. It's like literally Rocky saying you got nothing left to prove. He's the reasonable dude, and you're talking about like trolling Apollo. That was the biggest troll comment. He just literally said, "I don't care what them judges say. This is your champion here." And oh boy,
you see, Tony's just staying back. Tony's not getting involved. Tony's reasonable one. I think he also wants to just get Apollo out of there and get him in a hospital bed and.
I'm going to show you how lucky you are. You're going to fight me again, Chuck.
Okay, I also want to discuss something quick. Who do you think would win a fight in the lobby there if they decided to go for it?
I think Paulie could beat up Apollo right now. His ribs are broke, man. You can't.
I think Rocky could beat him if he wanted to right now.
Because Rocky has his ribs still. Like Rocky can breathe.
Yeah, I don't know why Rocky's in a wheelchair necessarily. Like he didn't take a lot of body damage. Like all the damage is to his face.
Yeah.
I think it's just like a hospital rule. It came in an ambulance, like for.
Because you're lightheaded. You're lightheaded, so you could stumble. So that's why. For safety.
Like a liability thing, really, for the hospital.
Speaking of hospital fights, there was a film sequence in Creed Part 2 where Drago and Rocky fought in the hospital.
And that was a good one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I think obviously we talked about that. So that's filmed somewhere, but the deleted scene was never released. It's just on YouTube behind the scene footage. Yeah.
Out on me. Come back here, Rock.
Oh, Adrian, we better go home because I'm going to be busy healing here for a while, you know?
No, I'll be here.
No, maybe you better go home with Paulie and get some sleep. Wait a minute. Get some sleep, you know?
I love you.
I love you.
I love you.
See you later.
Yeah.
Hey, Mick. Can you fix my nose? I'm a little depressed about my nose.
We'll fix that all right. It's the eye that concerns me.
The eye's great, you know? I never really felt this good.
I never really felt this good. Have you guys ever been put under with drugs?
Yeah, it's awesome.
It is pretty awesome. Go ahead.
I had a kidney stone when I was 17. It's really painful, and they gave me a ton of powerful drugs. The pain, man, that was great. I was kind of like this, like slurred and kind of in and out. It
probably wouldn't now. They're so it's hard to get good drugs now. Everybody's afraid of getting sued or whatever, but that's sort of what I was thinking about in this scene. Obviously, there's a reason they do it so that Rocky can say these things, but he'd be completely out. Like when you start to count backwards, you're out. Like they wouldn't start preparing his face and clipping stuff until he was unconscious.
Oh,
right?
The eye's great. The eye's great. I love. He's still like defending this eye. It's gonna be an issue. Oh, the eye's fantastic. I could see like a beetle.
It's very swollen shut. Yeah. And then I'm sure the doctor sees the cut mark in his eye, and it's just like, what the fuck?
Who did that?
People do.
It's cut man. The cut man. Where's that cut man? Bring him in here.
They're like these stupid athletes.
Yeah, no kidding.
You guys should have seen us tonight. You did good. I almost won, you know, you should have seen it.
I almost won, he said.
Good that night.
They had him in the 10th, and in the 15th he was going.
You think so?
Trust me, I was there. How's your face, Rock?
Oh, no. How's it look?
I wouldn't want him.
So that's kind of interesting. So Paulie's like, you had him in the 10th and then again in the 15th. So we mentioned in the last episode that had it gone another round, it was over.
Oh, for sure. Had that round in like 20 seconds longer. Like at the beginning of that round, Rocky is waiting for a bit and Apollo's taking some shots. If Rocky would have got on him like right at the beginning of that round, would have won the fight. He wasted a ton of time in the round that cost him later, but like Apollo somehow stayed up on the ropes and Rocky was hitting him. But if Rocky got him with a couple more shots, he would have been knocked. If Apollo went down, he was not getting up.
Mm-hmm.
Just so you guys know, what we'll do is we'll end it with them exiting the hospital, like at that moment. Just that's a good segue.
Okay. What do you guys think about what's the story with carnations on suit jackets in these movies? Because
Special
Polly
night,
now
special
has
night,
them.
I guess. I don't know. Like prom night's a special night, so maybe that's just a.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
weird.
Polly's date is nowhere to be found.
Well, she's dead in the alley, man. He killed her. He didn't pay her the. He's getting ready to work. He's getting ready to work for Gosel, so he practiced with her.
He paid $250 for her just to be there. He didn't get any extras afterwards.
So speaking of extras, the actress that played his date, remember we said how pretty she was. So I looked her up on IMDb. That was her only role.
Really?
And she actually had a speaking part in that film. I just find it odd that she had a face for film, and she actually legit had like a legit speaking part and film time with. She never worked again.
It is strange.
Which
Is
again,
she still alive?
I couldn't find out. I tried to look for her because I legit wanted to talk to her. You know, hey, you got to work on the film. It'd be Polly's date. And, like that would have been an interesting.
Should be.
Well, I think Polly killed her. I think she's in the alley.
Go in the alley.
Go in the alley. Oh yeah, he went in the alley. He definitely ate the bird in the alley. You know. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good, Katie. I like it. So Polly says, "I wouldn't want
Okay, I
that
got a
face."
little favor I'd like to ask you.
Oh yeah, here we go.
You know your friend Gazzo, he admires you a lot. You know? Tell him to give me your old job with him.
Hat in hand. He's got his hat in hand as he literally he takes his hat off.
Yeah,
holds
he
it in his
does
hand.
literally. Good call.
So now he's asking Rocky for the job because obviously Rocky don't need that job no more. And of course, Rocky goes, "You mean collected?"
You collected?
Yeah, I'm good with numbers.
Yeah. Okay, as soon as I get finished, healing here, I'll tell him to give you my old job.
Okay. I appreciate that.
What are you doing here?
Did you see how happy Polly was by that?
Sure.
His face looked. He was, but it's like, come on, Polly. I kind of don't remember him asking so soon.
Yeah, and speaking of being happy, I think Kyle's mentioned this. This is the happiest Paulie's ever been in his life. Is this Rocky 2 film?
Forever will be. This is his apex.
He's nice and
downhill
thin.
from here.
He's the most sober, the thinnest. Yeah, he's got a good job. He's breaking people's thumbs. This is peak Paulie. Like if Rocky 2 ended with this, Paulie would have died a happy man.
Yeah. God, I hate this nurse who's just about to come in.
Yeah, Nurse Ratchet.
Such a fucking bitch. We have to edit that out. I'll put the good version. She's a real piece of work.
And she comes, "What are you doing here? What do you think I'm doing here? I'm visiting my friend in the hospital. Why is that such an odd thing to have somebody by someone's bedside in the hospital? Like, there's somebody at the bedside of a hospital? Like, relax. Like,
Visiting hours are over.
Yeah.
still, but I mean,
I
she
know.
could
It's
just
like,
come in
come
and
on.
say, like, oh, sorry, visiting hours over. I don't know if you knew that.
Yes. Exactly. She's just like on him right away. And then she's like, now.
No, I never understood the whole visiting hours thing. This is a bit of a tangent, only because I watched the like a documentary and then the movie on Netflix about that killer nurse in New Jersey. The movie, the actual movie version has Jessica Chastain, who I love. She's one of my favorites. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? There was this nurse that was killing patients
Yes.
because he was injecting stuff into the like saline.
I know, I love that. So I mean, it's horrible, but it's insane.
Yeah. Well, I literally watched that yesterday, and there was a whole thing about the visiting hours. And I know in movies they're always talking about visiting hours, and I'm like, who cares? Like, what difference does it make? But I learned by watching that killer nurse thing that it's too much work for the nurses. Like, then they feel like they have to
Babysit
kind of,
almost.
yeah.
No, that's fair.
Yeah.
No, I figured that's what it was. It was a staffing issue. Yeah.
For pediatrics staff. Visiting hours are over. I have to ask you to leave. Now?
Okay, see you later, fool.
Okay. Everybody's proud of you, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now?
I feel good tonight.
Yeah, you look good.
Let's go.
I feel good tonight. And that's a little nod. Rock is, hey, you look good. Like and there's actually brought up later. Like someone says, you've lost some weight there, Paulie. That's the meat factory later. But yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, look
He's
how
listening.
disgusted she looks at him, too. Like,
Maybe Polly did get a little action from his date. He's in an extremely good mood.
I think that's the insinuation. He's whistling
Yeah.
as he leaves.
He probably got like on the way to the hospital and then dropped her off. And
In the
sorry,
alley.
Ryan, I got to edit that out too.
No, he's again. She ended up in the alley. Somehow she's in the alley. That's all I know.
Yeah.
Back to where she started from. She take
Whole
her back.
man back with God.
Take her
That's what I
back. do. Take her back to the alley. All right.
How are we feeling tonight?
Oh, now she's super nice.
Oh, of course, because she wants something. He's taking his pills.
Take a bigger sip, man. You have to stay
This might be a trivia question. What's the name he writes?
To my good friend, something
Billy?
Flynn. Flynn?
Yes,
I think it's the last
Flynn.
name.
Charlie Flynn?
Charlie Flynn. Yeah.
Charlie,
yeah.
yeah.
But don't
Good call,
even
guys.
know. Good.
My kid would die for your autograph.
Sure.
Would you sign it, please, to my good friend,
Charlie Flynn.
Charlie Flynn?
Good job, guys.
Hands are so sore.
My hands are so sore. I love how he says my hands are still sore from the fight, and she's like, "That's okay. That's okay."
I don't care. I just gave you drugs.
Yeah.
But his hands don't look, and I don't know what they ordinarily look like, what a boxer's hands look like once you remove the glove and tape. But they don't look bruised or anything.
No, they don't look
do
swollen.
they normally?
But that'd be a
They
hard
would-
makeup job, really. So
Yeah. Well, like even his face wouldn't look that. Like we see it in the bandages, but I'm talking about when we see it in the hospital. It takes a while for like bruises and stuff to form on your face. You'd see swelling in his face for sure, but in terms of it to be like black and blue or red like that, you wouldn't see that till like the next day.
Good point.
It's my first autograph.
Thank you.
You're welcome. To my good friend Charlie Flynn, who I don't even know.
sniffle still. So I think right there, though, what we're supposed to, he's already kind of getting that, oh, this is what it's like to be famous. The idea of fame, of like, oh, people are using me. This becomes an issue later. Like, who are my real friends? Like, who are my real friends? Now, all of a sudden, I'm sort of famous. I've got all these fake friends. Yeah.
He's already gotten hit up twice.
Yeah.
And he's like in the hospital, which is kind of insane. But yeah, anyway.
So I love how Rocky's rolling around in the hospital in his wheelchair. And he opens up a Paul's room, no entourage there or anything. Like even the champ doesn't have any visitors, which is odd.
Why is he in a wheelchair? Like, he doesn't need to be in a wheelchair.
Well, maybe his legs are really like jello-y.
Women weaken legs.
So-
Maybe Adrian did a little conjugal visit. I don't know.
Yes,
They're
yes,
not in
exactly.
prison. They're not in prison.
Oh yeah, sorry.
I always wondered. Actually, no, I'm not going to say this.
Okay.
I'll say it off camera.
Okay.
So
So
inappropriate.
Rocky comes to. I love how he comes to Apollo's door and just opens it. Like, why does Apollo was doing some private time or something?
Okay, now I'm going to say it. I always wondered if you were in the hospital for like a long time, and then you decided to like rub one out, if like your vitals would shoot way up, and then like the nurse would come and catch you.
Well, put it this way, in hospitals, I'm sure it's all happened. I'm sure the nurses have seen it all.
Yeah,
I'm sure they have, but I have never in my life thought about that.
because you're not a dude. You're like, okay, it's been in the hospital 4 days. Okay, I got to take care of it.
Unplug yourself from the machine first.
Apollo,
Yeah.
Paul's he's a machine, man. He doesn't have time.
How was it?
Oh, it's just me, Rocky. Listen, could you answer me one question?
Yeah, sure.
Could you give me your best?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so obviously a very vital scene because now we're seeing there's no cameras around Apollo, there's no entourage. Kudos to the Apollo character. To Apollo, he told the truth. You know, I think he might have been a little sedated as well, but you know, he just says, "Yeah, you know, I gave you my bed, like whatever." Now he's going to snap out of that moment, but it's important that we as a viewer see that. I think obviously it's important to Rocky, the character, that he understands that, hey, I didn't win the fight, but I went the distance to the champ who gave me his best. So obviously a very vital scene, a very important scene.
There's two different Apollos, one when he's alone and one when he needs to put on a show.
Right. He's a businessman. He's a showman. That's his product.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. You know.
I think deep down he respects Rocky.
Sure.
Rocky did something no one else could do. Rocky's the only one who really, really challenged him. So I think he has enough respect for him to give him an honest answer there. And then he, of course, disrespects him on camera. Which, if you look at Apollo as Muhammad Ali was the biggest troll and trash talker in boxing at the time. Whether he liked you or not, he was going to trash talk you for sure.
That's his product. That's his game. Okay, great first episode. I think we great start to season 2, episode 1. Are you ready for your Rocky 2 answers?
This is going to be a bloodbath.
Yeah, I think so. I think.
You think?
I think I.
Well, some of these ones I had to really I don't know, the color of her coat and stuff, and the fruit Mickey was eating. I'm like, it's either this or that.
Oh, I see the answer. Okay. Sorry, I have to cover the answers when I look at the questions. So I think I've got them memorized. Let me just memorize them again because I have to cover the answers to the next ones. I don't cheat. Question 1: Who says I'm worried about you, Rock? Your head ain't screwed on right.
Paulie.
Yep.
I guess Paulie.
Now, I'm going to give you my answer on this. You tell me if it's allowed and if you guys did the same thing. So what colors are on Rocky's robe? Kyle, what did you say?
So it's the final fight. I said yellow and black.
Okay.
I said black and yellow.
Black and yellow. Okay. I screwed it up. I said red and yellow. I'm going to give it to you guys because they said gold and black. I think gold or yellow is fair.
For what it's worth, that version of the Rocky the Italian Stallion, the black and yellow or gold, whatever, is my favorite. That's what I think of most often when I think of Rocky.
So anyways, I said red and yellow. I don't know why. Anyways.
Well, it was red and yellow just now.
Yeah, my brain just couldn't think of the color. Okay, so number 3. How many minutes does Mickey want Rocky to train? I know Kyle knows this. And
a 45-minute fight. That train 45,000 minutes. 45,000.
Now, if it wasn't for Kyle saying that on an earlier episode and me editing that episode, that number stuck with me because I don't know if I would have gotten. I for some reason I would have probably said 10,000 or something. But yes, 45,000. I wrote down 45,000. Katie.
Yep.
Perfect.
45,000.
And number 4, what is Mickey eating when Rocky is skipping rope in the gym? Now, I knew it was squishy. My brain was like, it's squishy. So I said orange, and it's not an orange.
I thought it was a pear.
Grapes.
Was he eating a pear? Oh, was it grapes?
It's grapes.
Oh, shit. He was eating a pear, I think, when they were watching the film of him fighting Apollo.
Yeah, so my brain went to squishy fruit. I knew whatever it was, I just remember him kind of sputtering and slobbering about it, but I couldn't remember the fruit. So I put orange. I don't think it's an orange, but good job, Katie. It was grapes.
I don't remember the pear thing. I just remember the grapes and then him eating soup and crackers that he throws on the floor later.
He's going to be eating a pear with a knife.
Well, be careful. That might be. Don't give away too many answers. That might be a future trivia question.
That's true.
What color was Adria's coat at the zoo?
I put red.
I put red.
Brown. Was it red?
Red. So
she's had that red coat for a while, and when they go shopping, remember, she's like, when he shows them the coat.
She's
the
like,
tiger
oh,
coat,
this is fine. I'm fine.
I got it. I have a coat. Yeah. So I really remember the red coat. Anyway, I got 5.
So, Ryan, you got 4, right?
I got 4. I missed the colors of the robe at the end. Yeah. Oh no, I got 3. Sorry, I got 3. No, because I also missed the fruit. I said orange. You and boy, Katie's on par right away. Round 1. Katie's on par.
Well, Katie's doing the best out of all of us. Like she has 51 out of 55.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's anybody's game because I started out real rough last season and ended up
true. They ended up
winning it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so really quickly closing up, join my Patreon to watch Tulsa King. Again, if you don't have Paramount Plus in your country, there are some listeners to this show who are in Europe, like people like Seiko, who don't have Paramount Plus in their respective countries because of licensing rights. So if you want to watch Tulsa King, join our Patreon for as low as $1 a month. You get to watch it with me, mind you, but you get to watch it, and I even put the captions up so you can read along. Yeah, and so you can watch Tulsa King ad-free, edited-free, all that good stuff, and hear my comments on the Tulsa King as we go through it. Send us an email. We were doing Rocky 2 Season 2. Send us your bump count guess, and also join us on Facebook, Twitter. The episode's over.
Ain't there no bow. I just wanna say one